Hey everyone, so welcome back. Now we're going to do the orientation video, which you also obviously see right here. And that's where we'll be located. The welcome video that I did earlier will be, of course, right here, right above that. So just know that that's where you'll find everything for this ones that we're doing right now. Um, Anyhow, in this particular video, I'm going to just walk you through a little bit of the class, show you what it looks like, and kind of get you going a little bit. Uh, and as I said, we don't really get started until week 3. Part of that, again, is because there's so many students moving in and out. It's just, I don't like to start and stop and have too many people fall that far behind. And sometimes it can be a significant number of people who are falling behind. Um, so I'm going to kind of get everybody up and running, everybody on the same page to start, and then we will jump into the things we need to jump into. So without further ado, the first thing you'll be doing is jumping into and doing the attendance check-in. This is very, very important. And so this is really for if you know you're in the class, you're gonna stay in the class for the long haul. This is where you come in and you click here and you just check in and say, "Yep, I'm here. I'm down for the semester." If you're not sure and you need a week or two, I give you to the 26th to figure that out. Make sure if you know you're not decide not to that you drop the class before the 26th. So when the census comes, especially if I see that you've been moving around in the class, I may not drop you, but up until census, if I see that you're doing things, I'll leave you alone in terms of your dropping. If I see no action and see you've done nothing before census, I will drop you. But anything after census is on you. So if you don't drop yourself by the withdrawal deadline, or if you don't drop yourself by whatever the due date, the deadlines are later on, that will be your responsibility. So I'm really a big advocate of people being responsible, and I don't really care if you're 17 or 70. I need you to be responsible. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always ask me. I will always be here for you to try to answer and help you navigate those things. Um, but I try to, in the Canvas site, try to make sure all the information is readily available. And I would like to make sure that you get comfortable with utilizing these resources to help you navigate the class. So as you go into part 1 of the orientation, and I think I'm probably going to combine these, but anyhow, I just want to get you started a little bit. Of course, you'll see the welcome videos and the 2 orientation videos, one for this stuff and one for the just general welcome to the class. Then you'll see the academic year calendar, which is located here to basically tell you what the due dates are for certain things regarding IVC. So, for example, this will tell you when the holidays we have are, like for example, Labor Day is September 5th, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, et cetera, et cetera. So you know the dates for campus. These are just resources for you to utilize, but I find they're really handy when students want to know, kind of what days they get a break from school. Uh, Also, another thing that's very important that I want you to utilize is the important dates and deadlines again for IVC, where we're getting things done. So you'll see in here, this is a really great resource to know, for example, when things have to be taken care of. So semester begins August 15th, late registration, last day to drop and receive a full refund, and not get a W grade is August 28th. Of course, the holiday financial aid freeze date, October 20th, which is Title 9 or Title 4, rather, excuse me. Uh, so again, then the holiday here, the no classes, campus open. And then Thanksgiving holiday, uh, and then December. This is the deadline to petition for graduation, final exams, and then of course going on how after the 10th of December, we're on holiday break until our winter recess, which ends January 2nd, and then we get into winter session. But anyhow, this just gives you the breakdown of the fall, so you keep abreast of when things are due. And then that's the end of week 1. It's just really a basic going over. I just want you to get settled in. I know you may have several classes, so I try not to inundate people too much so they get a chance to go too crazy. Um, Okay, I'm going to take this out because I'm going to do this right now. You don't need a syllabus video because I'm going to do that for you in this orientation. Um, so in this part, basically, I'm going to walk you through the syllabus and show you a little bit about the book and the class, and then we'll be done. And that way I won't inundate you too much in this orientation video because I will be doing several videos throughout this semester. And I try to keep them relatively short just because lecture videos will be probably 30 minutes, somewhere in that realm, 20 to 30 minutes, but because I need to cover things. But I really want to, I really try to make sure that this, again, quality of information versus quantity. Um, so here, let me jump into the syllabus and you can see basically the layout. You can download a copy of the PDF right here, or you can go right online here and see it in here. Again, the first part is just the basic information for the class, which is laid out here for us. Office phone number is here, so if you have a general question, you can either email me or you can send them text me through here. On Read, you can use Read, which is a very popular online aspect, or you can use Pronto. Pronto also is a way you can message me. And if you have an emergency, this is the number. This is my personal number. You can text me here. Text is better than calling, just because I get a lot of voicemails and sometimes it's hard to get through. Where text messages I can glance quickly. So if you have an emergency, um, this is where the best way to reach me. And one of the things I can't stress enough about this is that it's really important that you notify me if something's going on. If you're going to miss a due date for something, recognizing that the due dates are really wide open in terms of a couple of weeks to get everything, each chapter stuff done. But if you have a problem that's preventing you from getting stuff done, I need to know ahead of time, not after the fact. It's really, really important that you communicate with me. I don't care how traumatic it is or how, unfortunate the situation may be. I can't help you if I don't know. And you're gonna have to get comfortable with me and get comfortable, as you get to know me. And that's why I hope some of you come by office hours on Wednesdays in early afternoon, usually around 1 o'clock, 1:30. Let's say that 1:30 till 3:30 or so, I'll be in my office on Wednesdays around that time. So you can always drop in and see me and say hello and just come and say hello, get to know me a little bit if you want. And that way I can help you down the road when you want to transfer to a four-year school, if you need letters of recommendation. I love if this class were live, I'm a person who loves my students. I love getting connected to my students and just being helpful and helping you get to the next part of your life. One of the things I just noticed here is missing the S on my name in my email. So I'll have to correct that and then re-upload it. I'm glad I just caught that. So I'll add the S and then re-upload the syllabus because there is an S there. So this basically lays out, of course, the introduction to the course, the description, the student learning outcomes. Most of the stuff here is just general information, course objectives, of course, this part of the process. Uh, and then the introduction to the book, which is, again, it's an ebook, so it's not live, it's an ebook. And then, of course, the Canvas module, the course requirements. And again, there is a course chapter summaries and then discussion posts. Those are the two main things you'll be doing. Uh, Again, I don't require quantity of work. I really require quality work. That's what I want more than anything. So the summaries are really just your view of what the chapter was about. What did you take away from that chapter? And these are basically about a page in length, or so. So just to give me like a one-page synopsis of what you took away from the chapter, you can highlight one or two specific examples that really caught you in each chapter. Okay. Or if you question something, even if you don't have an answer, this is something that I'm curious more, I'd like to learn more about, or I'm curious about this, right? You can do that. And then the discussion boards, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. You probably have done a lot of these already, but in case you haven't, even from high school, basically this is where I pose a question and then you'll respond with a well thought out response to my question, and then you will respond you'll look at your other classmates, three of your other classmates' responses to my question, and then you can chime in on what they wrote. And I'm looking for these to be quality and at least one good paragraph, maybe two good solid paragraphs, and some people will even do three. I will tell you this is the most valuable part of the class. It's valuable because students who do a great job at this can get more than the base points that I offer. So if the base points are 40, if you do a fantastic job on something, I will give you 45 to 50 points if I think it's outstanding. So I've had students do really, really well on these and have gotten like what would be the equivalent of an A plus because of their work in the class. So do keep that in mind, that I do take those seriously and I do want the work to be quality. I'm not so much worried about the quantity. Other than I do want to show that you have to, a good paragraph or two is really shows relative, that you've thoughtfully looked at and considered the questions or the responses from your classmates as well. So do take that seriously. And then, of course, weekly requirements. Of course, you would look at the Canvas modules, review those, read your chapters for the textbook, watch the video lectures, and then do the PowerPoints, review the PowerPoints, and then look at the chapter summaries. I mean, write the chapter summaries, and then write your discussion post. And most of those you get 2 weeks to do. And again, the reason I'm big about the 2 week window because I've had students at the end. I tried to do this once where I let them stay open to the end of the semester. The problem is there's no counterpoint by the end of the semester. Whereas if you do it within that window, people can respond. If you respond to one of your classmates and then they respond back to you, then you can respond back to them. So you could actually have, of your 3 responses, there may be a couple of them that may be based on one of your classmates, not on other classmates. So you definitely want to be able to bounce around. And if somebody doesn't respond to you, that's okay. You'll be responding to other people as well. So it's okay if they don't respond to you. So don't worry about that. As you can see here, there are 11 chapters. And so with that, there are 440 points, 40 points for each chapter, and then the chapter summaries are worth 20 points, and they're 220 points, 20 points each. And here's a breakdown of the grading scale, and I've already incorporated in that. So, for example, normally A would be 90% to 100%. Well, I also, because we don't have a plus or minus, I already add in a portion, like, so for example, from 87, let's say approximately 87.5 to 100 is an A range. That's why you see that 580 points. That 580 includes the B pluses that I push up to an A. Okay. So if you end up at 579 points, look, don't be mad at me, okay, because I've already incorporated that. Now, I will tell you this, however. If I see that you've been trending upward, say your work was there, say you had B's all the way through to the last 3 or 4 weeks, but then your grades started getting even better. If I see you're really doing much, much better toward the end, I will always reward you. So if I see you had a 575 or 578 or whatever, and I saw you were really going upward, I'd probably give you the A anyway, just because of the work I saw you were getting much better. So I do reward for that. Okay. Other stuff here just deals with sort of policies and procedures, which again, you can find over here under student resources as well. But academic honesty, the netiquette. One of the things I'll say about netiquette, keep abreast of cyberbullying, people who will say mean things or dumb things just because they don't agree with you on something. I will tell you now that I am really a stickler about people being respectful of other people's opinions, even if I find them crazy sometimes, which at times I do too. I will always try to address them in a professional manner and always try to be respectful of their opinions while trying to share maybe an alternative view or give them some perspective outside of that may help them sort of, could reconsider their thoughts about things from my years in this profession. But I do. It's important that you do, even if you disagree. If you're going to disagree, it's perfectly fine. Try to do so in a respectful way. Okay? And I mean that regarding the discussion post. So if there is any bullying, I will deal with that like immediately. So if that ever happens to you, just reach out to me and I will take care of it. No joke. Okay? All right. Student resources, as I said again, it's over here. So I would utilize this. I think it's just a faster, handier tool. And then last but not least on the syllabus is the calendar for the semester. This just shows you basically the layout. First 2 weeks of course orientation. Week 3 we get into the chapter 1, which is why do we study IR, and then here's the rest of it throughout the semester. It gives you sort of a general breakdown. This is just a general overview. We may find that we're bouncing around a little bit with a few things, but this kind of gives you a general outlay of what you should be doing each week. You definitely want to stay up on the reading. You want to be on top of things so you don't get too far behind on stuff, okay? All right. And then from there, this course roadmap is basically just the last part, that last section we looked at with all the due dates in the chapter for the chapter readings. So that's all you'll see in here. And then the textbook overview is here. Uh, this is tells you about our textbook. This is what it looks like. Again, it's an ebook, so you don't have to spend any money on it. So it's free. It's a couple of versions older than the other ones, but that's okay because the information that you're learning is important. The new version is not free, but I felt like it's okay because it really does hone in on the part that you need to know, and that's fine. And then here's the textbook itself. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see, click on here, and this is the full textbook. You can download it and save it as a PDF on your desktop if you want, or on your laptop or whatever you may be using. And this is the full book. It's 373 pages for the full book. Of course, that includes all the other superfluous stuff. So it's probably about 300 pages of real stuff, maybe 320. So it's all built in here for you. I think it's very readable. There's a lot of stuff in there, so don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Uh, And then this is you're getting to know each other. This is where you basically click in and get to tell us about yourself. This is important to get done too. Matter of fact, I'll probably change that date to the 26th. I had it on for that, but I think I'm going to increase it just because there people be wandering in the class. We'll do that while I have you with me. It takes a second, so I'm going to jump in here. You can't do any of this because it's only in the faculty side of things, but I'm going to change this to another date. I'm going to make this the 27th, which will be a week later. It gives everybody 2 weeks to get this done. And if you do it and give some information, I give you 10 points of extra credit if you do it and put some effort into it. This just gives you a little bit about what I'm, tell us about yourself, nothing too personal. uh, why are you taking the class? Have you taken online classes before? What interests do you have about politics or international? Actually, I'm going to change this. This should be, what interests do you have in international relations, not American government? This is what happens when you copy and paste certain things, and I use this in my American government. Same thing, getting to know each other. So I work on the spot. Hey, that's how it works. By the way, you'll find me to be a keep it real kind of guy. I'm one of those people uh, who believes in doing things this way. I think it's important to let people see you're human and that we're not perfect either. So it's all good. Okay. So I will save that, and that's all changed. So now you get 2 weeks to do this, but I hope most of you will do it the first week so people can start, hey, welcoming you to class and all those kinds of things. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else do I want to share with you? So that's week one. And then that's week two, getting to know each other. And then that takes care of most of the orientation. You'll see below there, and I will cover this quickly. So my office hours will be in here, the link to my office hours. So you'll be able to access my Zoom space from there, or lots of other ways, but we can set it up any way you want. And then from there, this is just tells you the unit that we're going to be studying. And then these are the chapters, starting with chapter one, that are under unit one or part one. So the part one is studying IR, and chapter one is why we study IR. And so here you'll just, again, I try to structure them all the same way with an chapter overview, which contains the learning objectives, the overview, and then my lecture, which I have to add in. I haven't added anything yet for chapter one, but I'll be adding that in the next couple of days because you're a few weeks out from that, but it'll be there the next day or two. And then uh, these are all for each chapter. I do put the chapter reading from the textbook in each chapter as well. So if you click here, for example, this will take you to chapter one of the textbook, so you have access to it directly in that chapter module. Okay, and then the PowerPoints for the chapter. There are a variety of different things that I stick in here, lecture slides. Each chapter may be have a few things slightly different in terms of resources, but there'll be a few things in each chapter. Some will be less, some will be more. This one tends to have a little bit more, but it's important because it's just sort of building the context of what you're doing right now. So it's important that you kind of build some base. And then again, down here, the chapter summary and then the chapter discussions. And every chapter will be kind of structured the same way. As you can see, chapter two goes through the same process. That way it creates less confusion for you. As you can see, there's less resources in chapter two than in chapter one. So that's perfectly fine. Each chapter will be slightly different. and the lectures will be different, obviously. But that's basically how the class is structured. And I want you to get comfortable with it, get comfortable with Canvas, get comfortable with utilizing it. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to jump in and ask me. I will be here to help in any way I can. And I'm excited about the semester and learning. And please don't hesitate to reach out. This is of course, my field of expertise. And I'm going to pop some videos in here if you can see a little bit of what I've done regarding my news work and my bio. I don't think my bio is in there, so I'll have to add my bio in there so you guys can have access and kind of see a little bit of that stuff too. Okay, that's it. Have a great day, you guys. See you.